Hello and welcome to Card Whisperer, a tarot journey with your host, Shelley Speaks. That title is still kind of a mouthful for me, even though I like it, but saying Card Whisperer doesn't really roll off the tongue right now. So, welcome. Thank you for being here to my second show, which I'm super excited about. So, today I'm going to talk a little bit about me. I'm going to give you a tarot tip and then we're going to pull a message for you. And today I did all my shuffling ahead of time. I pulled the cards already. They're face down. I don't even know what they are, so it'll be a surprise for me as well. So, a little bit about me. So, I've been perceiving energy, forever since childhood. And I'm of the point of view that everybody perceives energy to some extent. You may notice when you're in fear or when you get goosebumps or when your tummy gets a little funny in the presence of, people, places, things, in situations. Everybody perceives energy. I happen to be super sensitive for whatever reason. And I'll say, I perceive too much energy sometimes. And most of my life, I have been learning to manage that or cope with it. And it's been a long journey. I don't want anybody to think it's been super fun to perceive a whole bunch of energy at once from like many, many people. So, for example, I grew up going to church and I did not like going to church. It had nothing to do with what they were saying or the religious beliefs. It's just when every time I stepped in that church, it would just became like I'd get sick almost. And I was just perceiving everybody's energy and all the things they were doing that were not on the up and up. And being a child, you don't mentally understand what's going on. You just know how you feel. So I interpreted that as I hate going to church. And even as an adult now, there are places that I don't particularly like to go. I still don't particularly like to go to church or hospitals. Casinos are a little heavy for me. Now, I will go to these places, but I have to kind of energetically prepare for it. And the most recent place that really, really I kind of ran out of there. I went to the Vatican last year. And boy, oh boy, I was okay in St. Peter's Basilica. It's really, really beautiful. And I was okay up there. I was perceiving some things, but I was okay. However, when I went down into the catacombs, so there's like one way that they direct you in, and then one way you come up out. And I basically just ran through the catacombs looking for the way out because it was just way too much for me. So, also, I want to say, children are often open and receptive to a lot of energies. So if you have a child that's talking about some stuff that doesn't make sense or you can't understand why they don't want to go somewhere, I just recommend listening to them. They may not be able to articulate it in a way that an adult can understand. However, they are picking up on something. I always gave my kids a day off from school. I'm like, you have one day every year where you can just say, I don't feel like going to school today. You don't have to have a reason and you cannot go. And I just wanted them to have a space where if they felt off about being at school without any explanation, they had that, get out of school free card. So the tarot tip for the day. Reminder, tarot is just information. It's just a snapshot of information at this time, kind of like a photograph or a Polaroid. It just captures the moment and gives you information based on that moment. So the tarot tip I want to give today is how to ask a question. A lot of people will show up for a reading and I'll say, okay, what are we looking at? What would you like more information on? And they say, I don't know. Just give me a general reading. Well, when you do that, just any old thing can come through, which is fine. However, I always recommend that someone is more specific so that they can get some really good information from the reading. So maybe it's their health, their finances, their relationships. One of the questions that is not my favorite question is he cheating on me? Why isn't it my favorite question? Because every time someone has asked that question in a tarot reading, I immediately know that they already know. So it's almost like a waste of time to ask a question about something you already know. So I usually guide my clients into something. Okay, so you have, and I'll ask them, do you already know? And they'll confess, yes, I know. And then I'll say, okay, let's ask, what your next move is, like what your next move is with this particular person. And that gleans greater information than, is he cheating on me, especially when you already know. Another thing that people do is they're looking for a prediction of the future. When you're looking for a prediction of the future, you are putting yourself in a almost like a victim space, like you do not have control over the creation of your life. And now, the caveat to that is there are some wonderful clairvoyants that are able to predict the future. There are things that I know about that I actually don't talk about because I just don't like to predict the future. I don't like to set in stone what's going to happen in somebody's life because it's all changeable. So I'll give you an example. I had someone call into one of my programs years ago, and they were going to go to a job fair the next day. And their question was, will I get a job? So I did my little spread, and it was just, it was on the radio, so it wasn't a full spread. But I said to them, I said, well, there's no information there. And they got upset with me because I wasn't predicting a yes or no. But what was happening, they hadn't done anything to get a job prior to this job fair. Like they hadn't written a resume, they hadn't like kind of figured out what kind of job they wanted. There was just no energetic creation from them. So therefore, there was nothing to see. There was nothing, for them necessarily in the future. So the way I read, I look at the deep kind of energetics of what's going on. And I'm also looking at your part in the creation of what's going on. So if someone comes to me and they're asking about their romantic life, however, they haven't done anything to generate a romantic life, like they sit in the house and watch TV and they don't have any social engagements, there's not going to be any energy there for me to read. However, if they say, what can I do to create a romantic partner? There's going to be information there for them to start taking action steps. And then maybe down the road, there will be information about a significant other showing up. I'm just seeing if there's anything else. And then with people who do predict your future, it's usually because you have set something in motion, okay? I visited a clairvoyant about 27 years ago. I know that because I was pregnant with my daughter. And this clairvoyant told me like five different things, and I just kind of blew them off because I was just going for fun. And all five of those things came true. Well, when I looked at it again, it wasn't so much, that this person was, I don't know, miraculous, magical, whatever. All of those things I had set in motion. Um, he knew the name of my daughter. I was already pregnant. He he predicted when my next child would come. He said something about my marriage. I don't know. That was already in motion. So clairvoyants are real. I don't want to discount them. However, they have to have something to read because nothing is etched in stone and we can change things if we choose. So I am currently working on 2025 forecasts. They take a lot of energy. They're very long, 15 to 20 pages. And even though I'm typing up all this stuff and I'm giving all this information, one of the things that I have at the end is I have my clients clear, energetically clear all the information I give them. Now, that might sound crazy, but I want them, even though they're getting this information, there's ups and downs and this, that, and the other, I want them to clear it so that they can start creating something different. Okay? So, if you have a question about anything I ever talk about, please feel free to email me, shellyspeaks@gmail.com. It's SHELLISPEAKS@gmail.com. You can go to my link tree if you ever want to get a reading or you want to buy me a cup of coffee or anything like that. That's all in my link tree. And so now we're going to move into the message for you. Okay. So today's message is about the foundational energy is physical actualization. That's the words I use. Some people will use the word manifestation. So basically, the idea of things coming from an energetic space into the physical world. Okay. And this also has to do with money. So they're saying that there will be news and information showing up about your finances, cash, money, wealth, etc. And this information is going to contribute to you manifesting, or my word, physically actualizing money with greater mental ease, mental peace going forward. And that's it. So thank you for being here. I appreciate you. If I saw we have new followers. I know most of you have my phone number. Feel free to text me if you want my phone number to text me. I don't really gatekeep with any of that. To ask a question or a question for the show or to get a reading, that's fine. I'm not going to give my number out. You'll have to request that. But I am available, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you next week.